Alright, hey guys, this is Josh Shoemaker here again. Another blowing bar review. This time it's going to be for the Optimum Idle Pearl. So the Optimum Idle Pearl features the same icon core that was featured in all its predecessors. It's now wrapped in the AI core technology, just like the Optimum Idle was. And now we get the nano-based pearlized version of it. So for me, I wasn't a huge fan of the original Idle after I wasn't able to drill the weight holes in them. I ended up drilling this Optimum Idle, similar to my Phase 2. Had some issues with it, really never threw it a lot. About a month ago, I decided to plug it before donating it and put a different layout on it. Went a little bit stronger with the pin, a little bit shorter with the buffer to try to get it to stand up and go forward a little bit quicker. And I really liked what I've seen out of it so far. So I ended up drilling this Optimum Idle Pearl the same way. And I really like what I see out of it too so far. So with the cover and core being as strong as it is, it does go forward substantially quick in comparison to a lot of the other pearlized balls that I have. So I'm going to go ahead, just like all the other videos, start a little bit straighter, middle part of the lane, and roll it, and we'll chase it left. Got that one going a little bit right, a little bit quicker than I wanted to. So we're going to go ahead and stay in that same spot and cheat the eyes one left and see if I can get it to scoot through there a little bit better. So I have a chance to practice with this in the last couple of weeks. Haven't pulled any events yet with it, but I do see it as being a pretty good option on the fresh. I need to control the friction. But something like my ASIM solids realities are going to be a little bit too much. There you go. All right. That was a little bit better. Like I said, with this cover being as strong as it is, I see it as being a really good complement to the Optimum Idle. Similar to kind of how the reality and altered reality were for me. Both of those balls were so strong that I felt like if one looked good, you couldn't really go to the other one as like a fall down from it. I kind of see the same idea with this Optimum Idle Pearl. I think if it looks good on the fresh for me with a little bit of surface, I'm going to have to jump into something like UFO Alert. That's going to be a cover down. But I think it's going to be tough for me to go from the Optimum Idle Solid to this Optimum Idle Pearl, just because I see them as similar as they are strength-wise in the cover. They just do it differently in shape, whereas this one goes a little bit more forward, and then Optimum Idle is a little bit rounder. Go ahead and jump two left here. Alright. Got that one going right a little bit quick. Again, you can see it. It definitely gets up and goes. But when it does it so early because the cover is so strong that it wants to go forward off of it. So for me, when I've been practicing with it, if I want to get left and shape it, and I still need a big cover, a big core ball, at some of the sense, been a little bit better. Cover's not nearly as big, but the core being as big as it is and flaring as much, you still get that control front to back. And jump a little bit left here. Try not to get it as far right. Alright. We definitely cliffed off this lane a little bit faster than I wanted to, for sure. But like we say in all our reviews, not going to edit any shots out. Just kind of going to give you the unfiltered, honest opinion and review of the ball. So, doesn't look good, doesn't look good. If it looks great, it looks great. So, I'm going to go in that same spot. I think I missed that one just a touch at the bottom. So I'm going to make sure I grab this one at the bottom. There you go. Ooh. Alright, so got that one going to the friction. Quick enough. It's shape off of it. But as you can see, that one, it did get up and get kind of rolling forward, which is what I'm talking about. So I think this is going to be a good piece for me if I can trap it and keep my angles in front of me, and there's enough volume to do that. But as soon as I have to kind of start chasing it left and get into more volume in the pattern. I think it's going to have an issue with it either scooting too far and not seeing it, or when it sees it, it's going to want to see it too quickly and go left. Let's see if we can get one to strike from here. Man. All right. So again, that one, that was a pretty good shot. Ended up walking by that 9 pin. So I'm going to go ahead and jump a little bit further left. Make sure I still grab it all at the bottom. And see if we can get one to go through the pins for me. Nice here. Man. Promise you this looked a little bit better yesterday when I was practicing with it. But it's the beauty of these reviews is that they're going to be unfiltered, and if they look good, they're going to look good, and if they look bad, they look bad. Definitely not the sharpest I've been lately. Haven't had a ton of time to practice, just getting back into it. Let's see. There you go. Keep chasing the left, kind of trying to keep it in the oil with this cover being as strong as it is. I don't think it's going to have any issue with reading when I get into that oil, as long as I stay slow enough and forward with it. So go ahead and keep chasing it a little bit more. I personally am not a huge fan of the very bright bowling balls. So as much as I've kind of enjoyed how this is rolled, for me, it's really hard for me to see how this ball is picking up. There you go. I think with this lane being as fresh as it is still, being able to kind of move into the volume of the pattern is letting it scoot just enough, and then just kind of roll off that friction down lane. Whereas when I was trying to stay a little bit further right, there's just a little bit too much cover and a little bit too responsive for me to keep it on line. Go ahead and move a little bit more. A little spinny with that one. So I'm going to go ahead and jump a little bit back right. Go ahead and go into the original Optimum idle. Give you guys a little bit of a smoother look at it. I'll go back to right where I started with the Optimum idle Pearl. And you're going to see this one be substantially smoother front to back, and probably read the lane substantially better, especially for still how fresh this condition is here. There you go. That ball for me lately has been good when I can kind of trap it. With these lanes getting clipped up as quickly as they do, I'd like to try to keep a little bit more cover, a little bit more core in my hand as long as possible. It makes my moves a little bit easier, and it kind of keeps me out of trouble. Whereas when I get into something a little too small of a core, a little bit too weak of a cover, they get a little bit squirrely front to back. I'll go ahead and move a couple left. Try to get all of this on the bottom here. So you can see it's just so responsive, every ball when you get it going right here. They're fresh, and then they go from fresh and blended to feel like still fresh and then super clipped, and then they start just hooking a million. So go ahead and jump left. Make sure to grab all of this one again, kind of where I finished with the Optimum Pearl. Make sure to grab all of this on the bottom again. Ooh. Yeah. So Optimum Pearl from that spot, you can see it being just a touch cleaner and more responsive, even though it goes more forward, in my opinion. It had no issue with shaping from there. So now I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of shots of UFO Alert, which has kind of been my go-to, a little bit weaker of a piece. For me, it's just kind of been the jack of all trades. It's been what balls can I throw to get myself into this as soon as possible. Go ahead and start a little bit straighter again. Roll it. As you can see, substantially cleaner than both balls. And that one, I actually didn't touch with any surface, so it's kind of lane shine. Whereas the other two, I kind of just lightly grazed with a 1000 pad just to kind of crack wolf shells. I'll go ahead and move a little bit left and give you one more shot of the alert here, and then we'll end up with a couple shots the Optimum Idol from a little bit further left. I feel like that's kind of, or sorry, Optimum Idol Pearl. I feel like that's kind of where it looked the best. There you go. So I got that one going right pretty quick. But what's so special about that ball, at least in my opinion, is even when you get it going right into the friction really quick, it still blends off of it really nicely. Whereas even with the idle being so much harder to recover, it still shapes a little bit too much if I get it going right that quick. So again, I guess Storm, if you're listening to this, please bring back the UFO Alert. So go ahead and end with a couple of shots here with this Optimum Pearl. Go ahead, kind of in the bread and butter zone here, where I ended with this earlier. Let's see if we can string a couple together. All right, not my best effort, but I can see, go that same spot. Just keep my feet underneath a little bit longer. That one, pretty decent shot there. But I think I might have gotten it going a little bit too forward with my hand. We'll go out in that same spot, slow it down just a touch, and add a little bit more rotation. See if we can get it to shape properly. Man. All right. I gotta at least do you guys a favor and end on a strike here. Alright, would not be able to buy a strike at this point. Seems like kind of got into that part in the series that I was talking about earlier where I feel like the lane kind of gets flipped up. And this is when I would probably go either back right to that UFO alert and kind of trap it, or I'd go into something with either a little bit more core, a little bit more cover, asymmetric, maybe like a partiality pearl, and that's going to be able to kind of shape when I give it a little bit of a miss up lane, or blend it a little bit more when I get it going right quick. So again, I think it's kind of going to be a little bit of a niche ball for most people. Colors, I feel like you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. As far as ball reaction goes, I think this is going to be a pretty niche piece for me. Definitely very condition specific. I think there's a couple of balls I'd probably end up sticking in my bag before I put this one in. But if you guys have been a big fan of the Idol series, or the Optimum Idol series, I definitely recommend you go ahead and draw up one of your own. It's going to release tomorrow, the 23rd, Friday. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and head on to your local Storm VIP Pro shop and order your own today.